Father Meyer and I, and lots of you here, were blessed to be able to witness the confirmations of 74 young adults from all across Dearborn County yesterday at St. Louis Catholic Church in Batesville. And Archbishop gave a beautiful homily yesterday about, and some of that included a reflection on this gospel. He said that, again, the young people are going to hear this gospel when they come back to Mass. And so, again, he gave sort of a homily on today's gospel. And so one of the things that he said is that we all have our own ideas about what the church should teach. We all have our own ideas about what the Mass should look like, or what we should or shouldn't be doing at Mass. But Archbishop Thompson said that it's important for all of us to run our own ideas about what is supposed to happen through the lens and through the teaching of the Catholic Church. And so again, we all have these different things that we want to see, but he said that we need to be making sure that we're running that through what the Catholic Church actually teaches. And so again, looking back to the Second Vatican Council, there are 4 pillar documents, and one of the documents at the Second Vatican Council was devoted solely to the Mass. And I'd just like to read an excerpt from that particular document. It says, "Care must be taken to ensure that the faithful may also be able to say or sing together in Latin those parts of the ordinary of the Mass which pertain to them." And so, again, Pope Francis just recently said that every church council takes about 100 years to work itself out. And so we're only 60 years removed from the Second Vatican Council, right? So there was some things that were done in the early years according to the spirit of the Second Vatican Council, but had nothing to do with the actual documents or teachings of the Second Vatican Council. So again, listening to Pope Francis's words about it taking 100 years, we're only about 60 years in, so we have 40 years to go before the Second Vatican Council will be fully implemented. And so, again, one of the things that Father Meyer and I are trying to do is just to slowly reintroduce these Latin Mass parts. We're not going to then, just suddenly, it'll be a process for 40 years. But again, we're trying to start with the simpler ones and just work our way through it. Not that we won't ever do the holy, holy, holy in English anymore. We're going to do that obviously as well. I think our goal is 40 years from now to have the Mass look like it does on EWTN. I don't know if anybody has watched those Masses at all, but sometimes on EWTN they do the Latin Mass parts, and then other times they do the Mass parts in English. And so that, again, is sort of Father Meyer and I's goal and hope, whether we're here or not, 40 years from now, that's the hope or the vision that the Masses would be celebrated in that way. There's also a 2-sided handout on your way out of church today in case anyone has any other questions about the way that Mass is celebrated. We're trying to follow what the general instruction of the Roman Missal. There's actually, so all of these Roman Missals in the very front, they have about a 40-page document about how the Mass is to be celebrated. And so we're trying to follow those teachings. And so again, there's questions obviously that a lot of us probably have. And so again, there's documents, a 2-sided handout. It's either in the bulletin or it's a separate document. But again, also here at St. Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, those simple Latin Mass parts, the Sanctus and the Agnus Dei, can be found on the front, in front of the Gather book. And so again, let us pray for one another as we continue to move forward. I think in a special way, there's a saying, that no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So I hope that you see in both my and Father Meyer's laying down our lives for you, that you will then trust us more and more. And so again, invite us. We're blessed today also to have an actual confirmation for Seth Williamson, and invite him and Olivia, his sponsor, to come forward now at this time.